Hi Aspen, this is Professor Jardine. I just saw your email and it looks like you're asking about what the information literacy assignment entails. When I teach this class online, I think that I may provide a few more tools for the online students, so I can imagine it's challenging. So anyway, let's go to our section 3 in Moodle. If you go to Actually, we can start with week 1. Here, let me change this to student role so that it looks like what it will look like for you. Okay, so in week 1, this information literacy document is an important one. And so the first part of assignment 1 asks you to paraphrase the 5 information literacy standards. So basically, we're just asking you to translate or put these standards into your own words, which means that we don't want you to use the same words. So don't use words like determines, nature, or extent. So if I were to paraphrase this, I would say that someone who knows how to navigate and use information they are able to decide or think about how much what kind and how much information they require for a project that they have, right? So that's kind of the idea. If you look at week 2, in week 2, we've got some resources. Down here, we've got the assignment 1 documents. In here, you've got the rubric. So the rubric is where it explains in written format what you need to do for this assignment. So, like I was telling you, you need to paraphrase the 5 standards of information literacy found in the document. You can use a dictionary or a thesaurus to help you think of synonyms and different ways of saying things. Then we want you to, this is just one paragraph, so the 5 information literacy standards just paraphrase into one paragraph. Then we want you to write 2 paragraphs where you explain about a time in your life when you have used the information literacy standards to get something done. In the example I gave in week 1, in that example, if you remember this one, information literacy skills, I talked about how I used information literacy skills to paint the fence at my house. So if you take a look at this presentation again, that could give you some ideas. At the top of each of these slides, this is standard 1. So here, this is what you need to paraphrase. But if you read the notes down here, let's see down here at the bottom below the slides, then you can get an expanded version of what I was telling the students in the class. I also have a version of this online. If it's useful, I can share a link to that for you. So some students have talked about different things. They've talked about changing the oil. They knew they needed to do that. Maybe so they needed to find out what kind of information they needed and how much they needed. And so then they went and they searched for it. We want you to provide details. So where did you search? Well, I searched in Google and I found I searched with these kinds of words because I needed to find out, or maybe you searched in YouTube, right? I want you to be specific about where you searched and how you searched. You need to tell us how you evaluated the information you did find. What kinds of, criteria did you have? Was money a factor? If it costs a lot of money, would you do this thing still, right? And then consider the social and ethical aspects, the economic aspects, and also the last thing is to effectively accomplish a specific purpose. So in the end, I painted the fence with the help of my family. I bought the paint in order to do that, and we cleaned up afterwards, and now, well, after doing that, it was a lot nicer. It's probably time to paint that fence again, but we just moved this summer, so someone else owns that house with that fence now. Anyway, so this is what we're asking you to do. When have you used information to get something done? I know this video is going probably longer than you want, and it's not a polished or finished one, so I apologize about that. But if you, let's see. Oh, in week 2, at the very bottom is another folder, and it's got some sample assignments. I think you may have seen that email from students. This is one that I thought was pretty good. This person, I changed the name of the student. This isn't the name of a real student I had in my class, but you can see how they paraphrased the 5 information literacy standards. You don't have to be so lengthy. I think you can do it in a more concise manner, but it's up to you. And then down here, she's written a 2-paragraph explanation or illustration about how she used information to find a good clinic or veterinary hospital where she could take her puppy who needed some medical attention. So I thought that was pretty good. I think she addressed her standards, all of the 5 standards in these 2 paragraphs. So make sure that you do that and follow. You can follow these examples, but make sure that you use your own, a time in your own life when you use those standards to do something. And make sure you try to use your own words and do your own work, but this is just one example of how you might do it. Some of these others, you can see they got lower points, so they may not have done as well, but you can use those as examples too. I hope this is helpful. Thank you for your time and attention to this class. I hope that we can meet you and see you next week. On Tuesday next week, we will be in the library, library room 212 on Tuesday at 1 o'clock. So I hope to see you there, and have a good weekend. Goodbye.